I actually got banned from using Claude because I was basically putting through that many requests.
So interesting that he didn't talk about the product. He didn't go like, hey, this is my product, that's what I'm doing, this one. He talked about himself.
Me and Mikael, we work together. We've worked together for about a year and a half now, is it?
Yeah, go on 2 years.
So Mikael came from sales. I was already working there, so I've worked at the company for 3.5 years. We just started going on walks together, didn't we? And just like just generally just going on walks on our lunch times, and we just basically just talked about projects we were working on, in our own time. Just when we go home, we just be like working on like certain projects, and we just talk about it on lunch time, just on our walks, and yeah, that's sort of how it came about. So
that's how Prospects Easy came about.
So that's how Prospects Easy came about, which was the first project that we worked on together. So Prospects Easy was it was an app that allowed basically sales to get a lead gen and basically generate prospects proposals to prospects, and so we don't work on that currently. And the reason why we stopped working on that is because the email platform we was using basically sent us not a cease and desist.
They basically said, what you're doing is, we don't like it, because we had a script where we'd scrape websites, get the information off it, up-to-date information, and then users could use that information to cold call. So basically, we're getting people's details, email addresses, names, and stuff through scraped information. And the thing is, like, we had a good few customers on Prospects Easy as well, paying customers, but they all got refunded. We didn't go ahead with it. So
was that like a conflict of interest type of thing?
So with these email providers, none of so what I've learned with these email providers is they've got a thing where bounce rate is a big thing for them, and that's how they get their reputation. Because email provider A will say, right, 95% of our emails don't bounce, and that's a selling point. Whereas when we were running these scripts, we were getting all the information because the information is there in public, but it doesn't mean that the email addresses, etc., were actually being used. So when they're sending emails, whether it's hundreds, thousands of them, 10% of them, 20% of them might bounce, because even though the information is correct, the emails are not being used. So long story short, that's why we had to stop that in these tracks.
So basically we started working on that together. Like I say, we was on our walks, and I knew Mikael had come from sales, and he was obviously, he's still got an interest in sales and whatnot. And I was talking to him about with ChatGPT, they've got an API that you can use and whatnot. And anyway, we just started like bouncing ideas off each other, didn't we? And that's how Prospects Easy came about. We were just bouncing ideas to one another. And then I basically said to you at one point, I said, like, we should do something together. Because we're working on these projects, but we should actually work on something together. Like, because obviously we're both interested in doing projects at home, but it'd be interesting to work on something together.
See how we work together and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then once we worked on Prospects Easy,
it was just from Prospects Easy, we just knew, we just know that this is someone I can work with.
Yeah, exactly. And we then decided, was like, you know what, like we like working together. Why don't we actually create a business together, like become co-founders?
Yeah.
And that's how Breakfeed Digital came about. I mean, it came about before because I'd already created the business, but I basically said to Mikael, do you want to join me on this business, and we'll do it together, and we'll work on projects together. And that's how Mutual Grow started. It's how Gym Slot started. And we've basically just been doing that since.
So you built 3 products, right? Like Prospects Easy, the gym app, and right now the main focus, the newest one, is the Mutual Grow.
Yeah.
And do you guys still do the 9 to 5, like the original job that you guys met? You still
in the trenches, Jay. Still doing the 9 to 5, trying to break away from it, but it's the bills have to be paid whilst we're trying to find our freedom.
Yeah, it's important. I've done this once in 2019, 2020. So I was very excited. I was working for actually a good company. It was automotive software, like motor controllers. I was working embedded systems, embedded software using C, a lot of Python, assembly, and I wanted so much to build a mobile app, and I had an idea. It was a social app, and I had to switch basically completely, go move to London. I was living in Newcastle, moved to London, worked with an accelerator for 3 months. And I was like, okay, I'm going to live off my savings. I got some funding from the accelerator. It wasn't really that big. It was about 12K. But I was like, okay, I'm just going to live off my savings pretty much. But as after the 3 months, after 4 months, you start to feel the pressure, right? You start to feel the pressure of like, okay, now my bank account is going low. I learned from that a lesson that if I could do this next to my job, then I should. Like there's no maybe got more wisdom into like rather than just going like black and white. I can still, if I have something going well and already generating a revenue, generating a salary, whatever you want to call it, then I can keep it and still build something else with my free time.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, let's talk about Mish Will Grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I like
the story.
Where did the idea came from? Where's the start? What was the conversations before starting anything?
And it's funny because as you're talking there, it's just bringing back of how I came about the idea. And just before you was going to Turkey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I just said, and I'll tell you, I just said like, you know what, Matt? Because what we do is whenever any of us have got an idea, we've got a Jira board. We put them on the Jira board and we have to agree the ideas. And we have to agree on the idea before it goes ahead. And I just said, Matt, I've got this idea about I'll tell you what it is, and it's basically because at the time, it's after Prospects Easy, I realized marketing, you have to be on it every day. So the first platform I really went on was X. And what I was seeing on XJ was just people just on there, just constantly trying to push their products and stuff like that. But that was it. There was no substance. I could see people pushing their products on there, but then because I come from sales myself, I'm thinking, right, yeah, I see your project, but that's it. There's no follow-up or anything like that. So I just started DMing a few people on there saying, oh, yeah, I like your project. How long have you been working on it for? What else have you done? And it was just the same answer all the time. Oh, I'm posting it, but that's about it. No one's using it or no one's even getting eyes on it. I can't even get no sign-ups. And that's when I thought, there are platforms out there what promotions like co-promoting and partnering, but it's done in a way where you've still got to put yourself out there. So what I thought is, what if I could create a platform where it cuts out a lot of the cold calling, the cold outreach and stuff. And I just thought, okay, if I can create something where, first of all, I can surround myself with smarter people than myself, I'm going to learn faster. But then if I can also connect two people together who've got two projects who I'm not too sure on how to market and stuff like that. If I can connect them both together so they can work together, co-promote together, like posting tweets about each other online, surely that's going to work. And it's only before I even started building anything, because Matt was in Turkey at the time, I just started pulling some tweets out there on X and just saying, would you like be interested in something like this? Would you be interested in something like that? Threw up a quick wait list and just got a ton of wait lists, like in about a week. I think I got like 100, 150 people on the wait list. Just from a couple of posts, it was a couple of tweets. And I was like, okay, well, from there, I was like, right, name. And then the name Mutual, I'm not sure where it came from. Maybe I was online and I came across the name, bought it straight away anyway. And I just started thinking of what the MVP looked like. And at this point, I was putting all these ideas on a Jira board. Matt was in Turkey, so I didn't want to bother him too much. But because the idea was just fresh in my mind and I had the fire in my belly, I was like, right, this is something what I know can work. I just started building. And at first I was building it around myself, where I was interested in SEO, I was interested in people who are investors and stuff. So I wanted to get involved in that sort of side. But then I just started thinking about other people, what I was saying, yeah, I would connect with someone if I felt like they were genuine and they could help me, and they don't, and they align with my audience, etc., without us crossing paths and stuff. And just from there, that's how it's come about. And every day I'm still getting ideas, still trying to get feedback from the users on there, just trying to iterate and improve the platform.
So how long ago was that? Like, I know you guys launched like very recently, like a few weeks ago.
So it went live on June the 23rd. So we're talking what, six weeks?
About 6 weeks, yeah. 5, 6 weeks.
June 23rd.
Yeah. And how long? Let's talk. Okay, let's talk right now about like the focus, because I've tried the platform, and I personally need it. Like I was before, I think we all get the same ideas. We have this wish list, brain wish list we start using. I wish I could collaborate with someone. I wish I could partnership with someone on the same stage, and we could like help each other in a way. I found really nice options when it comes to like different type of partnerships and different type of skills we can offer to each other. How do you see the platform? How was like the first 6 weeks now versus like what you guys want to do, or what you guys want to add into the platform or change the platform in the next 6 months?
It's funny because, and you'll know it yourself from launching your own thing, is like how you start something and your ideas of it is completely different to, especially if you start getting users using it, and then when you're seeing how they're using it, you're like, okay, this is not what I expected. It's like, for instance, that's what I expected was, I don't want to say like a Tinder type app, but something where you find someone, I like them, so I'm going to partner with them, deal with that partnership, come back to the app. I like them, I'm going to partner with them. In reality, what we're seeing is people who have not necessarily got projects, Jay, they're coming on the app to find a project to work for. We've got a couple of who have reached out to me. We've got a couple of angel investors on the platform who have reached out to us and said, right, I like this. Like, is there anyone on there you can recommend who I can get in touch with? We've got builders like ourselves who are on there who are just maybe looking to expand our audience through mutual collaboration. So it's fluid at the moment. It's fluid. I can't unless you can think.
It varies on every level. Like, I've said this before, but it could be someone who's literally trying to envisage an idea of something, or it could be someone who's already got a business who wants to get someone on board, and it varies on so many levels. Like, so many different ways in that you can go, but there's nothing that I can see online that's like this. It's very unique in its own way. It's sort of like a social media, but for business owners who are trying to build something together, like as a collaborative thing. It's very unique in its approach. When you first launched, it was different to what it looks like now. In a good way, it's just progressed. It's evolved.
Sorry, when I first launched, it was just tailored around what I wanted, which was just surround myself with people smarter than me who I can learn from and just use ideas and bounce them off. Whereas now it's like I say, I've had someone even this morning, someone who reached out to me on there from Nigeria, like saying, listen, I'm just on a new platform. What I'm really looking for is like a sponsorship. Is there anyone on the platform who can point me in the right direction? Showed me his work. And I'm like, it's early. Just show what you can do, sort of thing. Put it out there. Message some people on there who are open to collaboration, and see what you come back with. So and I think even in the next 6 weeks, Jay, if you ask me again in the next 6 weeks, it's going to be different until the pivots, until we get to a stage where, right, this is the road where we're going to focus.
Yeah. It's probably like the type of users that will probably be like the lowest hanging fruit, are pretty much like the service providers, right? Or the like freelancers and people who want to just offer their services, and they are trying to look for companies or founders because these people they're always scouting for platforms. They reach out to different founders. So how do you guys, because I believe also the audience, the type of audience you guys want are actual product owners, actual founders, actual co-founders, actual companies out there.
Yeah.
How do you find this like a challenge, and what thoughts do you have so you can reach that type of user audience?
So yeah, and I don't want to say that's who we want. We want everyone to go on there, but you're right. We want the builders who are actively working on projects, because the whole idea is to get builders and their projects more exposure. And the way to do that is to give them more exposure. How do we do that? So I've got ideas, and
also talk about so Mikael's implemented something, and it's like an AI matching tool, isn't it? And that's something that's very innovative in itself. So basically every week you get sent an email, and it's so on the platform you get like a match. So it's like maybe like your 50% match with someone, depending on what you've set, like your preferences and whatnot. And you get sent an email, and it's basically it runs a cron every week, and it'll send an email to all users, and it'll basically say, this person is actually a good match for you. Do you want to reach out to this person? There's also here's like an introduction that you could do and stuff like that. It's really good, the way it's set up. So yeah, just in that sense, there's more ideas coming on the app and stuff like that. It's very innovative.
Yeah, and sorry, I was going to say, just so because I know you asked how do we plan to get these people on the app, and the short answer is offer them benefit, and the way founders want benefit is exposure to their app, and how we can do that through Mutual Grow is, once we get to a stage where we want it to be, is there's all sorts of things like backlinks to their websites, exposure to their apps by promoting it on the actual app itself.
Yeah. I was gonna also there's something came to my mind while you guys talking now about populating the platform. There are some platform out there. Obviously, Product Hunt is very famous. There are also some platforms that are very, very niche with AI. There is Create AI Tools, Inc. And what they do is they populated their own platform with tools out there, especially we're talking about tools that's got less than, let's say, 50,000 users. They did it already. And then they have these pages. They pulled the information from their websites, from Chrome Web Store, from the App Store, whatever. And then they offered an option to claim the product, right? So I'm as a founder, I'm looking, because we all we want to see the SEO rank of our website. So I'm searching on Google. And then I find, my extension is actually on there, on aitools.inc, which is a platform I never heard of. I go in there, they know a lot about me, and then there's an option to claim the product or claim I am the owner. So they already hooked me in to sign up in that way, And I was just thinking something like this might be very useful to you guys, because that's how founders will find the product, be very interested. I want to get in there. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to at least sign up and just put more information about my product, etc.
It's funny you mentioned that, because that's something because I have looked a little bit into this, but I've also gone down this rabbit hole of these platforms. A lot of the platforms will also do this. That can actually also end up being bad for your SEO and your website by doing this as well, in ways where I forget off the top of my head, but I did write notes down about it, because even when I check the DR for Mutual Grow, there's so many platforms where I'm I've never even heard of you. So then when I go on there, they're doing the same thing what you're saying, where they'll just populate it with all these tools out there, and then they allow you, right? Do you want to buy the rights to it, sort of thing. But it's, from what I've read, and so I've not done too much homework into, but from what I've read, it can also be bad SEO. There's such thing as bad SEO when it comes to DR, your domain ranking and stuff. But again, it's something we can look at as well. It's something to look at. It's so fluid, Jay. Honestly, I get ideas every day, and I'm saying to Matt, I've got this idea, but it's important to,
I have another question. Obviously, you offer partnerships for founders, co-founders, and so on. what about partnerships that you guys as Mutual Grow could also partnership with, like other similar platforms, product listers, etc.? Is that something that obviously I'm not asking for a specific name, but I'm just talking about the category. Is that something on your radar at all, to partnership with other platforms?
I mean, even if you go to Mutual Grow homepage now and go to the friends page, we've actually got a couple of friends we've already talking to. But again, we need to be careful because we can partner with. I know that I'm going to put everything. We know we're going to put everything into our platform. So
yeah,
we then partner or friend with platform B over there, and we're doing well. But then all of a sudden they're not pulling their weight or doing their end of the stick, and it's all one way then. So we have got people, we've got actually friends of Mutual Grow on our friends page at the moment, and we're always back and forth and talking, bouncing ideas off each other. It's something, it's another thing we have spoke about as well. That was one of the first things we actually spoke about, in how we can give benefit back along with other things.
It's good because, like, you're thinking, like, okay, other platforms, they've got certain businesses. It's tricky sometimes because it's like, if you partner with another platform, they might have certain sort of paywalls and stuff like that, or something that you might not agree with. So it's tricky sometimes just trying to understand it from like that sort of standpoint. So, like, let's say that we partnered with another website that does a similar thing. They have like certain paywalls that restrict information. Now, if we have like the businesses on our website, that might get a little bit trickier, because then they're thinking that they can actually collaborate with this person, but then they get put to their platform and then they enter a paywall and then they get annoyed. There's things like that I guess would crop up in that sense. So for now, we probably would avoid doing something like that. But potentially in the future, if obviously like there's other platforms and they are sort of on a sort of wavelength, and it's like, because the idea behind this is you don't have to pay, like as such. It's just at the moment just getting people partnered together. There is, to an extent, there is limitations, but for the most part, it is just getting people like partnered together. But yeah, in terms of like cross-platform promotion, it's something to definitely consider. Maybe in the future, but for now, we're happy just doing like our own thing.
And I feel like as well, even with just things like this, being on this podcast, us on our own podcast, and we've done just on our third podcast today. We've mentioned projects from Mutual Grow on each podcast, and after releasing those podcasts and linking to the projects we've mentioned in the podcast, we've seen activity from every single project in terms of them reaching out, partnering other people on the platform, promoting each other on Twitter or Reddit or LinkedIn, whichever they use. So it's, at the end of the day, Jay, like, what people want is how can I benefit? That's what people want. They want to know how they can get value from something they sign, which is fair enough, because it's your time, isn't it? At the end of the day, if you sign up to a website, you want to know how you're going to get value from it. So it's our job then to give that person value. And the ideas we've got is, we can give them value by being in-app only for now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if this is different, but it is different also in a way. Integrations. Talk about integrations. Like right now, with Mutual Grow, you're directed to sign up on the platform, and then you get asked a number of questions, right? And then you answer them, and then based on that, the AI algorithm will just match you with someone. And you guys mentioned as well, like the email notifications if somebody else or is found like a match, etc. Are there like any integrations you guys think of in mind with again, like either social media or either other platforms that would that could offer value to Mutual Grow itself and make the onboarding process maybe easier, gather more information, helps with the algorithm and so on?
So, and I've mentioned it to you before, like something we have implemented is the feedback you gave me the other day with the onboarding and it being too long-winded in terms of signing up and stuff. So one thing we've done there is when you fill in all the information you need to, we just use, when you get to the stage where it comes to filling in your collaboration preferences, you can use our AI tool to generate a description for you, so you're not doing too much work. In terms of integration into the app itself, something we spoke about again, it's as much like we don't want it to be another social media app sort of thing, we also want it to be free to be able to network with other people and stuff like that. We don't want there to be any limits on how many partnerships you can have. The obvious integration for me to do now would be the X API, integrate X into it. It's now the X API is like £200 a month or something like that. Now for me to, and I've got, again, if I was to implement something like this, again, it opens up, I can add so much more value to users and stuff like that. However, I can't add that. It's going to sound weird to say this, but I can't add this value whilst we're still trying to get customer acquisition, or user acquisition.
At the moment, it wouldn't make sense just to integrate something like that. That's why we've done the feed. So it is just a feed where you can sort of socialize if you want to, make a post, reply to someone, like something. So there is that sort of social element. But the idea, yeah, it'd be great if we could have like a Twitter feed of that person on the site. And but yeah, there is limitations there in terms of like
for instance, as part of a partnership, there's something you do which is called like using AI, and it will generate social media posts based on your partnership information, and it'll generate 3 to 5 posts for each partner, and then that will go into your partner promo section.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I've said is, right, this is where the X API will come in handy, because on this page, on the partner promos page, you'll have a list of all your saved promo tweets, Reddit posts, LinkedIn posts, what you're going to post in regards to your partner. So it'll be things like, do you know what, I've just partnered with Mutual Grow. Looking forward to seeing how this partnership evolves over time. It's a lot better than that because the prompts are really good. Now, one of the things we could do is automatically have you post that from their platform. Currently, you have to select that you've posted it. Once you select you posted it, your partner, we're going to email to say, right, Jay's posted about you. This is what he said.
This is a great feature, and it could actually become this could be a product on its own. This could become a product on its own. So people partnership, but just for marketing, right?
Yeah.
2 people, 2 companies, partnership or co-founders, etc., for marketing. And they go in there, they agree, they put on all the details, the posts are being generated, and I'm sure there is a way to schedule them. I'm sure also there is a way to submit and schedule. So in this way, that it's going to be published. Like the verification part is already done, because once they are submitted, they already will be published. And I think this can be a great product on its own, just for marketing. I would love that. I would love that to grow my X. I'm still new on X, so I would love to partnership with other co-founders. Where
that's all in.
Yeah,
this is already in. This is already in. Just the part where the part where auto post it to X or LinkedIn or Reddit, because that involves API costs and stuff. Which, again, it's not the end of the world, but user acquisition is key. And the guys, because I have been getting feedback from the guys who do use it, and it's great when you see, because I follow everyone who joins it on Twitter, and when we see the tweets on posts, what they posted, such as like when we see the co-promoted X post, I'm like, look at it, and it's validation as well, Jay. When you see it out in the wild, and
of course, it's a big social validation, right? Like, I'm being posted, not just my page. I'm posting about my product. No, it's also this page and that page. I think this, again, I think if the marketing done right about this feature, this can be even a product on its own, because I don't think there is any other platform that does this, that just lets you go in, find another account or another founder relevant to you, and then you both start to post to post and market each other products. I don't think there's anything out there like this. So this can become like a really, really great feature, and a very niche one as well.
Yeah. And with it being niche, it means it's harder, but with it being niche, there's obviously the rewards can be very higher as well if done right.
Yeah. What are currently the main challenges that you guys have? If you want to share any.
So the main ones are like Vassal, and we just basically pay for Vassal, so it's just easy for us both to push to live them without us having to go back and forth creating branches. Firebase, but we're not even with Firebase, we're not even at the point where we're paying yet, but that will be a charge. And the OpenAI API.
API
and
these are all like, I guess, future cost challenges, I guess, aren't they?
So
like I'd say a big challenge is just user acquisition, isn't it? But
monthly charges is less than £40 a month.
So I mean, it's not even like the costs aren't too high.
Nah, it's less than £40 a month.
Yeah, but I would talk about the challenges of the app.
Oh, the challenges, did you say?
The challenges.
Yeah, challenges. Yeah.
Oh,
what did you hear? Did you hear?
I thought you said the charges.
No. I meant the challenges. Like,
I heard you, and I was really confused. I was like, looking at the calendar, he's talking about costs.
You're like, what?
I'm like,
I mean, the cost is a challenge, but not yet.
I was like, oh, challenges.
So the challenges, I guess, would be, well, user acquisition would be one. But again, it's one of them, like with Prospect Season, when we the first app we made, that was tough because it was just so niche. It was just tough because as well, like people would go on the platform, they probably read between the lines and see like, okay, like I can generate all this. But when I come to like emailing people, it's like cold outreach. They probably knew straight away. But for Mutual Grow, like you've actually seen quite a few people coming on board like pretty early. Like it's actually took off quite well, like early.
So because of Prospect's easy, and again, this is why it's so important to build as well. Like keep trying things and then seeing what and learning from them, because Prospect's easy because it was mostly B2B as well. It was just always looking back now, it was always gonna be a challenge. Mutual Grow, we can concentrate on B2C. It can go B2B, but we can concentrate on B2C, which is usually a higher acquisition rate, but higher turnover rate. Challenge, I'd say we're still getting 2 to 3 people sign up every day, just organically through posting on X or Reddit or whatnot every now and then. But that's still going to be the hardest challenge as well, is user acquisition, because at the end of the day, we don't want to call it as a social media app, but it is an app where you need enough people on there to partner with, if that makes sense. So we do need as many users on there as possible, but it's fine because it doesn't come overnight. It's it's a long road. It's a long haul game. It is.
Yeah. Let's look back. Like, how do you guys see like the vibe coding, co-pilots, different coding LLM models out there? Matt, I know you're the one who does most.
Yeah, you know what? At least like Matt's like he's using it more and more now, but I had to convince him to like use it. Like, don't get me wrong, like.
So you had to convince him to use it, like Matt.
I convinced him to get into Cursor because he's more.
So well, basically, I've been a developer for about 4.5 years now. So I used ChatGPT. I wasn't like avoiding it or anything. I used it, but I really became accustomed to vibe coding when Mikael told me about it.
It's about a month ago,
It's about a month ago, yeah.
It was about a month. He was like, what is that?
Mikael was basically telling me about using Cursor, and I was like, yeah, I've used it, but I like my VS Code, I like my extensions and all that, and I like doing my thing. And meanwhile, he's just blasting out code and pushing. And I'm like, how is he doing all this so fast? What's going on? So then I figured, I'm going to give this Cursor a try. Paid for Claude. Well, they paid for the Cursor subscription. I actually paid for Claude initially, and there's a funny story about that because I actually
you dodgy bastard.
I actually got banned from using Claude because I was basically putting through that many requests on the free accounts. I was just creating email after email on Claude, and they basically figured the IP tracked me onto where my location was, and they're like, "We're going to IP ban this man because he's made that many accounts for free and he's not bothered paying." And yeah, completely banned me. So I must have made about 20 emails, and I was like, I'm not paying. And then that taught me a valuable lesson: always pay for your LLMs. So from then on, obviously I can't use Claude anymore. They're still IP banned me. Thankfully, I am moving house soon, so that's good. But yeah, like I use Cursor now, so I pay for it, so I get to use Claude again, which is good. And yeah, it has massively increased productivity rate, hasn't it? Like,
but vibe coding. Do you know, the more I think about this as well, Jay, I'm starting to think more and more now, because even, I don't know, but I don't think you can. So are we saying vibe coding is someone who just doesn't know anything about programming, or?
No, really, no. Even with like, obviously there is now increasingly that type of coders, right? They just don't really know how much about the fundamentals at all, and they obviously the LLMs are really good with starting a project, getting an MVP out.
Yeah,
but you get through the struggle later on. Once you start fixing and you want to modularize your code and just add features, you cannot really rely totally on LLMs. You have to supervise them and just direct them exactly how to create a good architecture, right?
The good thing about knowing how to code is that you know how to debug stuff. So like the good thing about LLMs is that the productivity rate is massive. Like it's massively increased, and it's good because you can sort of run over what it's generated and go, okay, I like this makes sense. But to someone who doesn't know anything about coding and is just generating stuff, doesn't have a clue, doesn't know they have to put certain environment variables in Vercel or VO or wherever your platform of choice is, like Expo, like mobile app development, they don't know anything about it, then they're going to struggle because they're just going to be firing stuff at this LLM, and then they're not going to not know where to go to next or what it means by certain things, and it can be very destructive if you don't know certain things.
One example I was telling you about was when I was getting all those race conditions, but on the user feed, when I was implementing the user feed, and it was working fine. Yeah, and I just thought, it was one day I was working at night, and I thought, let me just quickly go over what Claude's putting out for me, sort of thing. And I just seen that he was just calling he was just literally just bubbling, like just something in message, just bubbling. And when I was checking my request tabs, I was just sending thousands of Firebase requests every second, even though the code was working on the front end. And this is where, and I've mentioned in the past, where I feel like what we're going to see in a few years' time is a lot of vibe coded apps which are making money need help, because their costs, their like server costs or backend costs are going to be ridiculously high, and they're not going to know for what reason, because LLMs, they don't necessarily, and why would they? Because they can see that the code's working, so why are they going to care that?
Yeah, like
how is someone a vibe coder going to know to even,
Yeah, like obviously, when you use a language learning model, it'll give you what you want, but it might not necessarily be in the most pragmatic way, or it might not be in your best interest. It might give it you, but like you say, you might be sending thousands of requests, and you not know, or you might not be aware. So like, if you don't know anything about like coding or
don't be shy. Just talk. How do you really feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just not good, is it? if you're getting people just throwing out apps, it's definitely not good, and especially when they become bigger, because certain small apps you can probably get away with, but if you've got thousands of users using this app, and next minute Nick from down the road uploads a picture of his whatever, and it breaks the system. They're not going to know, they can't just ask ChatGPT, okay, Mick uploaded this picture, it broke the app. Like, it's difficult. So yeah, I feel like it can be very problematic if you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah. I agree. I really agree, and I think that there is no way, there is no shortcuts to get through the fundamentals of software and also the language that you're using. I think there is no shortcut. If you are actually serious, pretty serious about development and about, if you're just a team of one or two, you gotta get into the fundamentals and understand. And even right now, like LLMs made this way easier. I think for now, I think the guys who put courses in Udemy and YouTube, I think actually going to affect them much, because you can actually customize the LLM to be your teacher, and your personal teacher, and just go and ask it very specific question, interrupt it how many times, let it to generate examples for you. But also, what I want to bring is also the competition, like as a something to know what you guys think of, is the insane number of software tools, apps that are being published day in and day out.
Do you know what? Yeah.
It became insane, like insanely high nowadays. So how do you guys see, like, and obviously it's only gonna get more intense in the next few years. How do you guys view the competition nowadays?
Do you know the way I see it? So I see obviously people just creating these apps and like throwing it out there, but they never follow through. I feel like they don't follow through, and they've not got, like, with me and Mikael, obviously we make the thing, but we talk about the thing, we market the thing, and we go and deliver the thing to the people. Whereas a lot of these backseat coders, they'll just do the thing, ask LLM to do the thing for them, but then they won't follow through with all the rest of the stuff that they should be doing. So I feel like a lot of these apps, they'll come and go, but a lot of them won't. A lot of them won't stay. I think. I feel like that'll be the case, where there'll just be a lot of empty apps, that'll just die over time, and then the people that actually spend time to market, spend time to fix all the little issues with the app, spend time to really just invest in the app, are going to be the ones that are going to succeed. Like, they might start with language learning model, just creating the basis of the app, but they've gone in the distance with it. I feel like if you go the distance, it'll stay.
And just to add to that as well, I think this era it reminds me of the Web3 when NFT first blew up in 2020, 2021. And every time I speak to people, I say to them, you need, it's hard to, because we're in that moment now, we can't see it, but because I've seen what it was like back in 2020, 2021. You just have to you have to take it. It was early. You have to be there, and you have to just put the hard work in now, and I genuinely feel like you will be rewarded for it.
Do you guys think also, like, obviously I agree with Matt about the software, and that if you started without really knowing what you're doing and doing things properly, eventually things will break. But do you guys think that the main challenge over the next few years will be through the marketing? Will be through marketing, reach, especially that MVPs, if we talk about like MVPs can just be created that easy. What's going to happen with the marketing, just to get actual users out there? Because there is always somebody else or some people, who actually thought of the same idea. They got something out there, maybe slightly different. How can you actually get traction with that crowd market?
It's funny, but it's me being ex-sales. The boring jobs are always going to live on, and the boring things are the jobs that no one wants to do. That's cold outreach, cold email, like going to meetups, talking to people and connecting with people. Because like you've just said, you can spin up a landing page in 5 minutes with internet connection now. So even down to learning how to build part, it's irrelevant now, because like you say, you don't need the skills to get something up and running. And we're seeing this is all it takes now. You'll see an app online and it looks popular. So you just go to VO or one of these apps and you say, right, create me a clone of this, and it does it with you completely different, but it's the same app. So it's all about marketing. You need to be consistent. You don't have to like be like over dramatic with it, but you just have to turn up every day and just do something, whether it's a post, whether it's a DM, a cold outreach email, a phone call to someone. You know, you have to. It's harder in that way. You have to be more thinking out the box in terms of the marketing side, because there is for every app, for every like Mutual is not the first of its kind, and it won't be the last. There will be apps that come and do better than Mutual, or try and do better than Mutual and fail, or like take Mutual and pivot to something else. But there's always going to be something else out there, so you have to be.
I guess it comes down to like branding as well, and like not just in the sense of like here's the app, this is the app. It's like who are the people behind the app? Like, and that's something different that me and Mikael are doing. It's like,
and yourself as well. This is
exactly
with what we're doing here. This is another thing.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't want to put themselves out there.
Exactly. Like what we're all doing here is we're putting ourselves out there, and we're doing something different in the sense of this is us. This is us behind the app. This isn't just a thing that we just thrown up on the internet and we just want to.
It's the story.
Exactly. It's the stories, and it's. What people think about last is like we're going to put the story out there, and I think that's just as important as the app, because that is marketing in itself. Is talking about like us, where we've come from, why we've built this, the story, and that is part of the brand. And I think that's the uniqueness about it. And I don't think that's what a lot of people consider. It's just they just want to vibe code this app and throw it out there, and then don't really care about the app. But we do, and that's obviously why we're doing that. We're doing this podcast with yourself, like you care, we care, and it's important.
It shows through. It shows through this.
And I was interviewing this kid from Russia, from Kazakhstan, and I published this episode.
I've watched it. I was telling Matt about it as well.
Yeah, and he's 16-year-old, and he's a smart guy, great guy. But what he did, he published this Chrome extension for tabs management, to manage your tabs. It's actually a very simple concept, and also gives you some timer to create tasks, and gives you like some alarm that they got distracted, etc. But he started to leverage the fact that he is 16-year-old, and I need help from you guys. I'm doing this. And he didn't, like, one of his posts, actually it boomed. It got like 2 million. He was telling me he got 2 million views, and I've seen it on LinkedIn. And he didn't even talk about the app. Like the post itself is about, it's about like 6 lines, and he didn't even mention the app. He just put a photo of himself with a laptop, and he said, I'm 16-year-old, I'm doing this, I need your help, please. And the post boomed. And it boomed. It got him now. He's got over 1,000 users in about a month or a month and a half, which is something people cannot achieve easy. Especially there are many other extensions that does the same thing, but he did it, and he also got a 30,000 USD investment from one of the people who reached him on LinkedIn, just from one post. But what was so interesting that he didn't talk about the product. He didn't go like, hey, this is my product, that's what I'm doing, this one. He talked about himself and who he is and what he's doing and his own challenge. And people fall in love so quickly with that type of stuff. Something else also, I've seen it yesterday. I'm not sure if this guy was intentionally advertising for that app or not, but he went and he just wrote a question on X, on one of the communities, and he said, do you guys think this product, I'm not going to say its name, is going to retire developers? And I saw it, and I was like, the first thing, he didn't put a link, he didn't say anything about what it does. The first thing I've done out of curiosity is like, I copied the name, I went on Google, and I looked it up, and I went to their website, right? So he did this just with one line, without giving links, without saying, hey, that's what I'm doing, nothing. Do you guys think that this is going to retire? So he put this emotion, this like fear emotion in me. Okay, this is gonna retire me. It's gonna retire a developer. Let me see what is it, right? So there are many smart ways. And I feel like right now as well, like you gotta be different. You gotta start to think really outside of the box.
Yeah.
Understand people emotions. It's a different game, right? And Mikael, you were telling me before we start recording about how also social media can divert you, like because you start posting for the algorithms, and how it can really divert you from your actual goal with the product. So maybe you can tell me your thoughts about this. I know you've been on X for a while, so I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, it's, and I'm to be fair, and we will see the more apps come out, the more we're going to see on places like X where people go on there with the best intentions. They'll go on there initially to promote their app and try and drive users to it, and then, like what Jay was saying, then they may create one post and it just goes viral.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden it gets to a stage where they're like, oh, hang on a second, I know on X if I get to a certain amount of impressions, 5 million impressions, I get a certain amount of followers, 500 followers. I start making money per post then, and I start weighing up the pros and the cons, and this is where you start seeing whether people are actually really interested in building something, helping themselves and their future stuff, or just getting monetized to make money. And unfortunately, I'm seeing, because you can see in their posts as well, when if you look through anyone's post history who's quite high up, a lot of them you'll see, like, at first they'll be promoting their products and stuff like that, and then you'll see they'll have like a couple of viral posts what gets them close to monetization on X, and they just start posting then just garbage, like I've said to you in the past, just like stuff what just is not going to help their product. All it's doing is it's engagement farming, and it's hard to see, but it's what X is paying at the minute. And it goes back to what I was saying about the error run. It's, we're early in this era where these, like, things like this are going to make money. Like you say, you saw that post, and the first thing you done was Google the website. Hundreds of thousands of people may have done the same thing. So it's hard because not everyone's like that, but I'm seeing it more and more where people are just like forgetting about their app once they get close to monetization and just concentrating on doing that. And then once they get there, their apps are just an afterthought.
Yeah. How do you guys see other content, other types of content marketing? Like, talk about, obviously, reels, the biggest thing, like short reels. How do you guys see this in the era of AI generated videos? I'm sure you guys seen the quality of View 3.
I genuinely think YouTube is just going to be king. I think you need to do well. I think you need to get onto YouTube. I don't know anything else, but I just genuinely feel like YouTube is just going to be the bread and butter.
It's one of them. Like, comes back down to like what are people willing to not do, and I feel like everyone's jumping on the AI video bandwagon, but people are forgetting to have like the conversations, and I think it comes back to that. And so yeah, I feel like it's great if you do it in the right way, but if you're just generating videos for the sake of it, and it's not really giving value, it's just like I'm just doing this to make a post. I'm just doing this, for no reason other than just trying to generate something quickly, then it's probably not going to work. But yeah, like Mikael says, if you're doing something original, like in the sense of what people aren't willing to do, which is have these conversations, then I feel like that's what's going to pay dividends in the end, because people are going to go back to, all right, I'm sick of seeing all this AI stuff online. I'd rather just see them have a conversation and like see who these people are behind the generated AI content.
I think also, like, social media will really look different, like especially with the reels. Like, you guys see like how the reels became the thing now, versus like a few years ago it was photos and reels. Even YouTube didn't have shorts. Instagram got videos, but it was not the main thing. And then it became, and then Facebook followed through, and then Facebook reels, and then YouTube shorts. So we're talking about the people's attention span is just becoming lower and lower. Like, they're just looking for that like fast dopamine hit, right?
Yeah.
Over social media. Obviously, we're also addressing certain type of users. Not all the audience. A lot of people still looking for long form content, like normal YouTube videos. But I'm just seeing right now, like, slowly on Instagram, the AI generated videos, it's probably gonna be a thing. It's probably gonna be like on my feed right now, maybe like it's 10-20%, and I'm not even like stopping much. So I can imagine like in a few years, maybe it will be like half, or will be like a mixture. Most of the reels will be like a mixture of AI, and we'll talk again about more competition, where it's the attention economy, more competition to just get your attention.
Yeah,
It's really, yeah.
Sorry to disrupt you, but I feel like it's going to come back around, like where people are going to get sick of seeing AI generated content, where they're going to just want to, and it's almost going to be like you have to sort of trademark that you aren't going to be AI. You know, like I'm going to make a video.
Yeah.
I'm actually, you have to be like, I'm actually human. Like, people will watch it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Like with like messaging and emails. Like right now, obviously it's being promoted, generate answer, and I'm sure at some point, Meta will integrate this within their messaging apps. Like generate, they will understand how exactly you write, how exactly you respond. But then what? Then when we're gonna have some machines responding, like we're not gonna be even like looking. It's gonna be some machines responding to each other, and people will be actually looking for real, authentic human text.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like that will become social media, where it'll just be literally, like you said, AI chatting to AI, and then the humans will probably come off social media at that point. And like,
just leave it to.
I'd just rather have a conversation in person.
Just go for a walk outside.
Yeah.
Do you guys think do you guys think that this balloon will burst at some point? Like similar to what happened with NFT and crypto in 2020, 2021. Do
Possibly.
you think that there's also a potential for the AI? Obviously, it's very different because beside crypto offered value, but offered a very scoped, very limited value, a certain value, also with NFTs. But do you guys think with AI, somehow, some way, the balloon will burst and people will just get sick of it? Or
I don't think. See, and I made a comparison with crypto and AI because like it was just that golden era. Like with crypto and especially NFTs, there was always going to be someone holding that hot potato at the end of it. Like it just didn't make sense that digital. I like NFTs and I've still got a few of them, but it just didn't make sense that they were just in a niche group. They were just making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and when it's just like at the end of the day, it was just a digital asset. Whereas AI is, it makes sense that we have this technology now. If you know what I mean, because like they say, we're in the fourth industrial revolution, which is all about technology and stuff like that, and it does make your life productive if used in the right way.
Yeah.
So I don't see it. I don't see it going away. If actually, I think I read an article the other day that it's like the finance industry in certain parts of the world are just maybe starting to embrace it. And as you know, the finance industry is always the last to respond to any new technology. So no, I don't think, and again, I don't think it should go away. I think it should be embraced, but it needs to be done with caution, and it needs to be done the right way, if that makes sense.
Well, it all comes back to how does it serve humanity? Like if it gets to a point where we're just being fed so much artificial intelligence, we don't know what's real and what's not real anymore. I think that's when it becomes a bit of an issue, because you're not going to know what you're watching is real anymore. It's everything's just fabricated, and it's basically just being delivered for you to just for your dopamine just to be like, wow, amazing all the time. But I feel like there is going to be a point where like there's going to be a bit of a segregation between people who've like, okay, I'm all in on like wanting to watch all AI content. But there's also going to be people who are like, I do not want to watch any AI content. I feel like down the line, there is going to be platforms where they do specify we do not showcase any sort of
artificial intelligence.
I don't know how they would differentiate that, but I feel like there will come a point where there'll be a split, there'll be a divide of people who just refuse to sort of engage. Because I feel like it's becoming more and more common in like creative industries like film, music. And in like 5 years' time, you might be listening to some music and it's completely just been generated by AI, but you might not even know. And that's scary, because
But you used to create music and then get paid for it until like
exactly. Like I was a musician, like, so for me it's scary seeing it just completely just transform the creative industry of, like, you know, generating music, generating film, because for people who it's their outlet to be creative, where does it leave them? And I sort of have a bit of an issue with that, because it's leaving artists in a spot where they're not able to maybe make money off of their own music. Creativeness, like their own music anymore, if it does take over. So yeah, it's sort of it's difficult, because you do want to sort of embrace it, but at the same time, you have to be a little bit, you know, hesitant in a sense.
Embrace it. That's what I say. Just it's not going there. It's just embrace it.
Yeah,
you know.
From a technical point of view, I do fully embrace it. But when it comes to creative, I don't know. Maybe in 5 years' time I'll change my mind. But because I was a music artist, I've got views on that myself.
Yeah, and it's gonna be strong views as well, right? Especially like with the image generation and the quality, it's really insane. Nowadays, I think most artists I spoke to, or anybody worked in art, they all have strong views against it, because they feel like, okay, especially if they actually publish stuff, they got trained on my own data, and now I'm not really getting paid, and they do a better job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it will come, especially with the creative. It will come to how people respond, how fast people will get sick of the experience, or also how good the AI will evolve, or how fast it will evolve. There's still, obviously, we've got the new glasses, the new AI glasses. I know Google will publish one with Samsung this year. I believe it's by the end of the year, and they are all like mixed reality. Yeah, I know. Also, I've seen the demo that Mark Zuckerberg presented a year ago. Mixed reality. It's not like the Meta Ray-Ban. It's full on mixed reality headset, and it just looks like like glasses. So, and it will be if this thing kicked off, it will change a lot. It will really change a lot of the way people market their products, the content, people they live their lives.
Yeah,
it's just going to turn into a Black Mirror episode. I can already see it.
It's the thing is, we should start preparing, not to that extent, but this is where we need to start preparing now. And this is why it's so good to learn from youngsters as well, because youngsters are growing up with this, like these 15, 16-year-olds, when they say 10-year-olds, when they grow up in Thailand, that we used to use Google and Stack Overflow to search. They were like, you used to type into the browser to find a problem. Why would you do that when you can just blink and you can, you know?
Yeah. Did you guys see the Comet? Have you guys heard of the Comet browser at all by Perplexity?
What browser? Sorry.
It's a new browser. It's an AI browser. It's only it's still limited access. Got limited access only for their waitlist. And apparently it does browse the web very differently. So you just talk to it, and it does open a certain website. You just talk to it, please log in, and then it does everything that we're doing in like quarter of the time, or a fraction of the time. If you want to book a flight, or if you want to book an event, or register, or post.
Do you know, that's a good idea, actually. It actually is a very good idea. Do you know what? Yeah, it makes sense to have something like that. That's If that person wants to join Mutual Grow, by the way, get on board, because that's because that sounds awesome.
Yeah. And also think about the SEO as well. Like the way SEO works is actually changing in real time. Like now you see more and more SEO agencies and SEO platforms talk about, we're gonna list your app on LLMs. It's not just Google anymore. Wow. It's we're gonna list on ChatGPT. How we're gonna list on Gemini. So it's already changing. The SEO game is changing.
I've been looking into how, like, I've gone down a black hole of that, but again, because it's all new, even the material on how to do it is a bit hit and miss, because you're like, this is new, so everyone's still figuring it out. But
And again, you're dealing with a machine, with a full machine. It's an algorithm. The algorithm is like an entity on its own. Like,
exactly.
I don't think they even know. Like, even right now, they were interviewing Mark Zuckerberg, asking him with Mr. Beast, and they were talking about the algorithm, and he was saying, we don't actually have a control over the algorithm anymore. It just works on its own. It's just a lot of data. We don't know how it interacts with it. It's just working. And Mr. Beast was in one of the videos. He has like a reel. I think it's got like the highest ever views on YouTube history, and it's a reel where he's holding money. He's holding money, and it's starting from like 1,000 and 10,000, and he's holding literally the cash and running. So he's holding cash and running, and money is just dripping, and he keeps going up to like 1 million. And it's like a 60-second reel, and it got the highest ever views. So, and he was talking, obviously, Mr. Beast is the king of YouTube. He knows, he keeps experimenting. He was saying, if one of the reasons this thing boomed everywhere is because it doesn't. This reel was actually on Meta. I'm sorry, and on Facebook, as well as YouTube. But that's why it boomed. It was on Meta, and he said the reason is because they don't speak any words. It's got no word. Because the moment I start speaking a word, it will limit just the audience for English speaking users.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's another channel like that I watch actually. It's called Primitive Technology, and it's just a guy who basically goes into the woods and he just builds like huts, like mud huts and stuff, but he doesn't say a word. The whole video doesn't say a word, but yeah, exactly to that point. Like he's got millions of subscribers, and yeah, like I say, I like watching stuff like that, and yeah, it's not limited to one language.
Yeah. It's not limited, and it's no longer than just like going out and saying something with value. Like, unfortunately, it's not the case anymore. Like, I see a lot of content with value, and it's not getting traction or views. It's about dealing with this machine. Again, it's happening. It's the algorithms is becoming this machine, this entity that we just need to feed and need to make it happy, right?
This is it. That's it. And you can't. And that's what me. I don't blame people for playing the algorithm on the likes of X, because it's what they want. It's it's what makes money. So yeah, we need to break out of it somehow. Just that part of it, and get them to join Mutual, and then they can go back to it.
Right. Okay. My last question, guys, is any inspiration. What inspires you in day in and day out that makes you just get up and work on and craft and keep building?
I think we often like dream of like, well, it's simple really. Like me and Mikael on weekends, we often go for like a coffee and like sit in a coffee shop, and like we'll just sit there and like just talk about like obviously like the business and just life in general. And we often say like, imagine being able to do this on a Monday, like, not having to go drive to work and whatnot. And I feel like that is something that does inspire us, doesn't it? Just the fact like we could just work doing something that we are passionate about, that's for us. And I know for me personally, that's a big driver. Just being able to control my time. Because I feel like that is a big sense of freedom. So for me personally, that's what drives me.
Yeah, it's 100% always going to be how you can. Even when we say freedom, we've got freedom, but how we can manage our time so that it's better spent with family. That's what, it's massive. Because you always want to work, you always want to challenge yourself and stuff like that, but you want to challenge yourself in doing something you love doing, but also being in your own comfort as well. So
on your own time, and then obviously being around your family and whatnot, and just not being burdened with like your whole company's needs and demands. It's your company, you're in control. So I guess that's a big driver.
That's it. Yeah.
It's freedom, right? Freedom is a big part of it, I believe. And just being really happy, right, and in peace with what you're doing, more and more, right? Like more and more in control.
Yeah, and just like knowing that you're serving people that you care about. Obviously, I'm not saying I don't care about anyone that I work with, but it's just in the sense of like you're in control of making these people happy, and you're like you know that you can do something to help someone, and you're the person at the top, and just everything about that I think is just inspiring. You know,
it is.
It's just inspiring. Yeah,
it is. Well, Mikael and Matt, thank you very much for your time for this really interesting conversation.
It was good.
Yeah, thank you.
It was good.
I'm going to leave Mutual Grow's link and your X as well in the description. And looking forward for another episode. I think we can talk about a lot of interesting stuff to people. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's been good, Jay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.